Over the last 11 days, the United States has gotten economic report after economic report, and every one of them has been horrific. Like, not even close to being okay, let alone good. By every possible measure, our economy is going in the toilet and getting worse. The people telling us things are going to get worse are the economists, the data analysts, and of course, the captains of industry who are in the process of laying off thousands of people because they're predicting massive economic problems in the very near future. So everybody connected with the economy, from the people who analyze it to the people who effectively run it, are telling us things are very bad and they're about to get so much worse. However, during that same period of time where we've gotten horrible report after horrible report, including that god-awful jobs report, Donald Trump has put new tariffs on countries all around the globe. And, as I mentioned over the weekend, because his executive order was written so poorly, it actually resulted in double tariffs on a lot of countries and a lot of goods. So it's not, he didn't just raise them by 25%, they went up by over 40% because he's an idiot and didn't realize how to write something. So we're doubly screwed, I guess. But he's also repeatedly bragged about how amazing the economy is, how great the job market is, and about the fact that he has brought back American manufacturing with his tariffs. But that actually brings us to the latest set of economic data that has come out in the last 11 days. Because according to the latest round of data, the American manufacturing sector is dying. Absolutely dying as a result of Donald Trump's policies. Let me read you this. The president's triumphant tone does not match what consumer sentiment and economic data are currently showing. The Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday that the American manufacturing economy, which Trump has claimed will benefit the most from his tariffs, is currently sputtering as companies face higher costs of key inputs such as steel, aluminum, and copper. From March to July, U.S. manufacturing activity contracted, according to the Institute for Supply Management's monthly survey. The manufacturing PMI last registered at 48, below the 50 score that differentiates growth and decline. Top manufacturers such as Whirlpool, Polaris, and Harley-Davidson, who say that consumer demand has been hit in recent months as consumers pull back spending in the face of the president's tariffs. In fact, Polaris CEO Mike Speetzen told investors during recent earnings call that consumers are really reluctant to go spend right now unless they really need to, or they're fortunate enough to have the financial flexibility to do that. In other words, consumer spending is shrinking. Manufacturing is slowing down, and jobs are being cut across all sectors with the exception of healthcare right now. Because one thing everybody knows, people are still going to get sick. We can't afford to buy that new Whirlpool washer dryer. We can't buy the latest Harley Davidson, but that's not a necessity anyway. So we have to save our money because God forbid somebody gets sick, because that is the leading cause of bankruptcy here in the United States. So our broken healthcare system is, of course, exacerbating our economic problems because people can't do their spending as they're trying to hold on to what little they have in case, God forbid, something happens and they have to go to the doctor. We have been this way for a long time, don't get me wrong. But look at where we are right now as a country. Take all this data into consideration. Forget for a second that we have the dumbest American president in the history of America. Our economy has been a farce for decades. It is an absolute farce. Sometimes the stock market does really well, and when that happens, we're told the economy is great. We have low unemployment, but we have people employed in multiple jobs just to be able to afford to live in this country. We have people going into bankruptcy every day because of medical bills. Let's face it, folks, we're a banana republic. We've just been dressed up as a world leader. You know, it's cosplay. This isn't real. That's not what's actually happening down here in the streets of America. We're a bunch of fakes. We're a bunch of phonies. And our government has been perpetuating that. Our businesses have been perpetuating that, pretending that everything is great and wonderful and look how wealthy we are. And then right below the surface, all you see is death and decay and bankruptcies and joblessness and people working 18 hours a day just to be able to afford to go to the fucking doctor. That is what America is. Trump didn't create it. Okay? He does not get credit for creating that horrible system, but he's damn sure making it worse than any of us thought it could ever be.